Hi there, it's Laura from Laura Womwell Photography, and I am here today with Ariana Brittenden of Do's for Doggies. Hi, Ariana.
Hi, I'm so happy to meet you.
I am so excited to be chatting with you today. So you are currently a pet groomer, but you've been involved in pet care for a really long time. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got started?
So I started off at the Guelph Humane Society. I started when I was 7 years old. I did the kids programs for about 12 years. So I was in the programs myself, and then I became a volunteer with the programs. So over that span of time, I learned so much about like the different animals, and I mainly love dogs, but all the different animals are like amazing. And then I became a volunteer for dog walking, and that was kind of almost when I met my dog. And so, stemming from that, I became a reactive dog walker. So, I was allowed to walk the dogs with more issues. So, I specialize in more of the behavioral dogs when I'm grooming. Because of that, it's really helped a lot. Um, and then I also worked for a dog training company, which was also a walking company called Walk with Zoe. So I got to work with the behavioral dogs and also just walking the dogs and having a lot of fun. Um, and then I went to school in 2019 for pet grooming, and that was only a year program. So I only stayed there for a year, and we basically just learned the basics, and it helped a lot. But then as soon as I went to a salon, that's where it really blossomed, and I got to learn everything of what I know now. So yeah.
Perfect. So as far as the training that's required for pet groomers, you said you have to go to school. What are some of the key things that you learned either in school or once you got out into that salon environment?
More so how to do nail trimmings, and shaving the pet is definitely one of the most complex. You have to go over the lines and make sure that your work is really good. And when I was in school, the program was good, but it's so much better learning from an actual mentor. If I'd have known before, I think I would have just done a mentorship and have someone else train me. That's what I would recommend if anybody wanted to get into grooming. That it's much better to personally work with somebody rather than a whole class, because you learn a lot more. once I went to work, everything was different. So
Wow. So you mentioned that you worked a lot, both as a volunteer and now as a groomer, with reactive dogs.
mm-hmm.
You must have to have all kinds of patience to be in that environment. I know just with my own pets, like just trying to clean them up is a nightmare. So how do you deal with pets when, they might be a little stressed or this might be new for them?
Yeah, well, we like to take it slow. So they're obviously allowed to walk around the room and smell all the little spots and go around and see, just check out the room and get comfortable. And we let them come up on the table by themselves. So because my table goes all the way to the floor, so they're allowed to go up on the table. We'll encourage them with treats, just so that we don't have to invade their space and pick them up. Um, and then we do have to sometimes be more persistent, like to get the grooming process done. But we do try and be calm and careful with our actions as well, because like our behavior towards them can trigger them in the slightest way. So we just have to be careful and watch for their warnings in case they give us a side eye or something that will trigger them. And we just have to watch their body behavior.
So do you have any tips for owners who, like, for example, there are so many folks who have new puppies during COVID. Do you have any tips for those owners getting their dog ready for their first groom?
Yeah, there's actually lots of things that people can do from home. The first one is to have two people and have one person giving them treats and the other person playing with their paws, touching their ears, playing with their tail, just getting them used to having every part touched, because grooming is very invasive and a lot of dogs don't like that. So I always encourage my puppy owners to always touch and just play with their ears, just anything to do with getting them socialized. So even with the hair dryer, just so that they can listen to the hair dryer, because when I use my big high velocity dryer, that normally scares them a lot. So normally people will put their dogs away when they're blow drying their hair, but it's actually better so that they can get used to the loud noise.
Huh.
Yeah.
So let your pet experience that whole run of noises and stimulation before they even get to you.
Yeah, it helps a lot.
Perfect. Are there any particular breeds that you really love grooming?
I love the standard poodles. That will be my next dog for sure. Their coats are wonderful and their personalities are so amazing. They're such good family dogs and they're so smart.
Oh yeah. Any breeds that are a particular challenge, or does it really matter day to day?
It matters day to day, but I do struggle with some of the smaller breeds.
I have a Chihuahua, so I hear you.
Normally it's the Shih Tzus that I have trouble with, and pugs.
Pugs, really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even known that you have to groom a pug.
With they get de-shedded, and also their nails. So, yeah.
So what is your very favorite part of grooming?
Seeing the owner's reaction and making the bond with their pet. When they come on a schedule, they get excited to see you. So sometimes I'll be outside and they get so excited that the owner just has to drop their leash, and because they're just so excited to be here. And then seeing their transformation after their groom is really nice.
Wonderful. And what are some things that you wish that the general public knew about grooming in general? Like, for example, I didn't know you had to groom a pug. What could help to educate the public about what you do?
Sorry, could you say that again?
For sure. What's something that you wish that the general public knew about grooming?
Well, a lot of people associate grooming with just haircuts, like people haircuts. And it's really not that. And especially since the virus and the lockdown, everything has kind of changed for grooming. So people have just been seeing it, oh, my dog's just getting a haircut. But it's so much more beneficial than just a person haircut, because you're helping their skin and you're helping any of the knots in their fur. Their ears. I have helped a lot of people realize that their dog's ears has ear infections, which has actually completely changed how they have to feed their dog and bring them to the vet and check them out. Like even when I'm blow drying the dogs, I can see right down to their skin, so I can help find any lumps or bumps or things like that. So it's not just a haircut. They are getting haircuts so that they can be pretty, but they're also getting it for their health. And a lot of people don't see that, because a lot of people do keep their dogs on schedules, so they don't see the matting, or they don't know that there is knots underneath the top layer of their skin or their fur. So it's definitely been a controversial thing the past couple of months, that people are fighting whether or not it is essential or not essential, but it is totally essential.
Oh, so like grooming is then kind of an extension of preventative health care for your pet.
It is. Yeah, for sure. Like I've noticed many lumps and bumps and any like things that will have to get them to go to the vet that they have no idea that even existed.
Wow. I honestly never knew that. So I am learning so much.
even with your Chihuahua, you said?
Mm-hmm.
When I blow dry their hair, even though they're short hair, I can see right down to the skin. So if there's anything growing or like anything, I can see everything.
Excellent.
So we're kind of like helpers to vets, kind of.
So even maybe then, if you think your dog, oh, you know, they don't shed much or they don't need hair that needs trimming,
Yeah.
maybe a visit to a groomer isn't a bad idea.
Yeah. Even once, just to get like the groomer's opinion and see how they do.
Excellent.
Especially nails. They always need their nails done.
So you've actually sent me a couple of pictures of grooms that you've done.
Yeah.
So I'd love to share those. So who is this?
That is a new cockapoo that I just did recently, actually. And she's coming for a puppy package. So my puppies, they come for a puppy package that gets them introduced to grooming. And this was just a bath, brush, and tidy up, just so that they can get used to the grooming process.
Perfect. Do you find that puppies are generally a little bit more accepting of being handled that way, or does it depend on the puppy?
It does depend on the puppy a lot and any of the work that the owner has done. But many puppies, they really do need the puppy training package for grooming, because a lot of dogs don't like their chin. I hold their chin and they don't like having their chin being held, or the clipper. I can't clip inside their ears to get the airflow through. And a lot of puppies don't know how to stand on the table. So as soon as they come inside and go on the table, they lay down because they don't know what's happening. So I have to casually build up their trust and have them stand up and learn that it's not a scary thing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So this next one here, who are you holding?
That is Cali. She's another puppy package client that she did. She came for 2 puppy classes and she was really good.
Perfect. And then this one right here.
That one, I can't remember his name, but he had so much puppy hair that even that length right there is so long for an owner to maintain, but there was so much hair. He's a Bernese mountain dog poodle mix.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he was really big. Like his head almost touched the pole.
Oh my goodness. Wow, he's gorgeous. So speaking of getting pets acclimatized to being touched and, you know, just getting them ready for a groomer, what are some things that an owner can do to make sure that the owner groomer communication is the best that it can be?
Like the owner to groomer communication?
Yeah.
So they can always message your groomer and ask questions. Like we're always here to answer your questions. That's the best thing. And I always make sure that I tell the owner about any different behavior issues or problems, and they can always message me to give me an update or anything.
And what should folks look for when they're seeking out a groomer?
Definitely take a look at their pictures and see different reviews. I have a lot of people asking on the Dogs of Guelph Facebook page for different recommendations, and you really have to look into the pictures and into who's recommending them, and just take a look at all the reviews and everything.
And I guess just like with any relationship, you want someone that you trust because they're handling the most important member of your family.
Yeah.
And someone that you can talk to openly about what you want for your pet.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize that I'm so young when they see me. So they don't think that I have a lot of experience. So that might take them aback a little bit, but I've had so much experience, and I'm very knowledgeable with the different breeds and everything that you need to do for grooming.
Perfect. Well, I mean, if the reviews are to be believed, people think that you are phenomenal. So I have some questions that have come in from the group for you. So if you're ready to jump in with those.
Yeah.
Excellent. So our first question was, are there any ways to reduce the red staining that happens with some breeds around the beard and sometimes around the ears?
Yeah, I actually have a product beside me that helps with that. It's called the Diamond Eye, and we put it on a little cotton ball, and you have it so that when after they've gone to the groomers, you get all the hair out from in their eyes, and then you just dab it, and it's like magic. It literally takes the red staining, most of the red staining out, and you just have to keep on that and help with that.
Wow.
It also helps with going to the groomers frequently, because then when we do clear out the eyes, then we're getting rid of all that gunk. But sometimes it is just because of their tear stained ducts that they naturally just have that.
Perfect. And that would work for the beards as well?
There is shampoos that you can get. The Diamond Eye stuff doesn't work for beards, but there's whitening shampoos and brightening shampoos that you can use in the beards.
Perfect. Do you find sometimes, like, can you trim some of the red out, or that's
yeah. A lot of times with the dogs who have hairs like right on their chins, we just trim those out and then it looks better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Question from a curly-haired dog owner. They're wondering, when a dog gets mats in the winter, and with lockdown, obviously, they weren't able to see a groomer for quite some time. Yeah. Is it a better idea to, once you can see your groomer, shave them down and risk them being cold, or wait until warmer weather, but let the mat grow?
You definitely want to get that shaved, because even if they're outside in the snow or you want to give them a bath, the mats actually form tighter. So if they get wet at all and then they air dry, the mats like will close up and they get way more tight. So that's way more painful for your pet. You really just want to shave it off and maybe just put on a coat. Because if you do wait, it will be way worse, and it could have potential health issues for your dog.
For dogs who don't require regular grooming, is there a recommendation on how often you should be brushing them just to like stimulate the oils in their skin?
Yeah, so for short-haired dogs, I normally recommend every other month. The most 3 to 4 if they are a breed that can allow that. And I do de-shedding packages for them. So they would get a bath with my de-shedding shampoo and conditioner. And then once I blow dry them, all the hair, undercoat comes out. And then I would brush them with an undercoat rake. So it even takes out even more hair. And yeah, and that lasts them for a little while.
Excellent. And I'm sure you knew this question was coming, because it's the number one question that that folks wanted to know. Tips for at-home nail trims.
Personally, I don't recommend at-home nail trims because it can mess up the way they see grooming. I have a couple clients that have said that they did their own dog's nails and they cut too short, and now they are absolutely terrified of even coming here getting their nails done. So if you absolutely have to do it at home, I would have one person holding the front part of the dog so that the head can't see what the other person is doing, and just to have them standing and hold up a leg like that.
Huh.
It's way easier to do it standing than it is to hold them while sitting, because then they could even snap at your face, and then some dogs just don't like looking at you while you're getting their nails done. Sometimes my boyfriend has to help us hold the head and give them treats as we're cutting the nails, because they just don't like looking at me cutting their nails.
Wow.
Yeah.
But when they're distracted, they're a little bit better with it.
Yeah. When they're distracted, they love the attention and they don't really pay attention to what I'm doing.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds like a much better idea if it has to be done at home.
Yeah. But
luckily,
also, I've seen that peanut butter on your head challenge. I do not recommend that at all.
No.
That one gives me nightmares.
No, that's just faces a little too close together.
Yeah.
So as far as people interacting with their groomers, is there a best way that people can help to support both you, support grooming as an industry as a whole? How can people help, be better pet parents for groomers?
Pre-scheduling your appointment is always a plus, because then we know that you're wanting to come back and that you like what we do. That helps a lot, because we know that we have our job that is that we know that we're coming into a full month. So say I have a pre-booked appointment all tomorrow. That means that they came before and they really loved what I did before. So then they pre-scheduled their appointment, and a lot of people don't, and then they miss out. So definitely that, and also sharing our name on Facebook. So say when people ask for a recommendation, to definitely give our name, and even like send a link of our Facebook page or business on Google, and that helps a lot.
Excellent. Or like share those cute pictures of your freshly groomed pup with a tag.
A lot of those recently, on Instagram. I normally use just Facebook, but there's been a couple of people that have been using Instagram, and I've gotten a couple of new clients just from that.
I wonder, with all the press that grooming was getting about, like, is grooming essential? Is it not essential? I wonder if that drew people's attention.
Yeah, because it was like people were seeing how many people wanted their dogs groomed. And it's like, oh, maybe I should get mine done too. Like that was kind of the idea.
Yes. Well, you've motivated me to want to get my dogs groomed now. So that's amazing. Thank you for answering all of those questions for us.
You're welcome.
I'd love to chat a little bit about you and your personal experience with pets. So I know that you had a sweet pup named Luna who recently passed away. So how did she bring light and joy into your life?
Well, so I met her when I was 12 years old. So it would have been about 8 years ago. And I met her at a Santa Claus parade when I was walking with them at the Humane Society. And I just loved her. She was so friendly with people, and I talked about her nonstop. And I noticed that she was on the shelter website for about 6 months. So wow. She was there for a long time. She had a lot of issues. She had the separation anxiety and dog aggression, and sometimes male aggression as well towards people. But we really wanted to give her a loving home, and it worked out so well with us. It was really hard in the beginning, but we grew to know how she wanted things. When we got Luna, she was very stressed out at home. She didn't know how to do anything. She did walk on a leash, but she pulled a lot, and the separation anxiety, we had to try a lot of things out. So we tried the crate, and she absolutely did not like the crate because of the separation anxiety. Then we tried having her in the basement, and that didn't work. So we just had her roam the house, and we figured out that that's what she wanted, was just to be able to see out the front window, and we made adjustments as well, because she would rip up plastic bags. Her thing was plastic bags and cardboard. We don't know why, but she never wrecked anything else. Wow. So yeah, just plastic bags and cardboard. So it was kind of her way of telling us to clean up.
Well, that's nice that she chose just like random things and not your shoes.
No, never an item. She got a hold of a muffin tin once with the plastic container, and she ripped up the plastic container and the muffins and didn't eat the muffins. She was really funny.
So how long was Luna a part of your life?
For almost 8 years. Yeah, she was about 6 when they rescued her. When they did rescue her, though, she had a lot of aging signs. So she had broken teeth. and her paw pads were worn, and she had clearly been overbred. So it was definitely a factor that she was older, but not too old, but not too young. So we kind of just went with 6 years old. So she was about 14, but she never had any health issues. It was amazing that she was so healthy for so long.
Wow. I also had a pup who passed away when she was about 15, who had also been bred. And one of the things that was so important to me was that I gave her longer in her golden years than she spent in the terrible before place.
Yeah.
And so I commend you on giving her such an incredible life, because it changes your life like nothing else.
Yeah, and I almost turned 13 when I got her, and it, looking back at it, it's crazy how much I had been able to rehabilitate her at such a young age, just knowing what I did, that it helped her so much, and that her life was so much better after we adopted her.
Excellent. Yeah, she looked like an incredibly happy girl.
She was. She loved to smile, and she just wanted to be with her people. She's never loved dogs, but she loved being down here when I was grooming. That was kind of our thing. She would wait upstairs, and then when I had the dog on the table, I would bring her down, and she wasn't allowed to jump up on the table. She would be allowed to just be in the other room or lay down on the carpet, and that was our thing. So she would come in on Wednesdays or evenings and come in and just kind of hang out with us and watch.
So she was a people dog.
She loved her people, for sure. Anyone with meat or cheese was her favorite.
Excellent. Did you have any favorite things that you would do together here locally?
Not really, because of her anxieties and aggression, that we didn't get to do a lot of things outside of the house. We obviously would go for walks, but my favorite thing to do with her that I would order was actually a subscription box. So it has like toys and stuff in it. So we would just play with that, and that would be kind of our thing that came monthly. So
excellent. Would she get excited every month when it came?
Yeah, and she never wrecked anything when we were home. She only wrecked stuff when we were gone, of course. But that cardboard box that came in the mail, she would wreck it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I know losing a dog is one of the hardest things ever. Have there been any special people in your life who have helped you through, or any resources that you could share with folks who might be going through the same thing?
There is actually a group called, I think it's PVC Pet Loss. So it's Pet Vet Corner Pet Loss. And they have tons of tips on who to talk to, or even talking to the group members and sharing your experiences. That has helped me a lot as well. I also had, for me personally, I had a blanket made with her picture on it. So that helped me a lot, just because she slept with me in bed, right? So it just kind of helped me once I got that to be able to sleep a little bit more.
Nice. Yeah, it's those little things that bring that memory once it's not quite as painful.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for being willing to talk a little bit about Luna. And it was super, super wonderful to hear about her. So I really, really appreciate talking to you tonight. I learned so much about grooming that I didn't know. That's incredible. Are there any last thoughts about what pet parents should know about grooming? Any last words?
That getting your dog's nails done are absolutely essential, necessary, and that brushing your pet, even the slightest bit, helps. Even if you don't think it might not be doing anything, just brush them and comb them out, just so that they're not in pain. because lots of people think that matting is just, oh, well, it is really hurting your pet. So to brush your dog and get your nails, oh my gosh. Get your dog's nails cut. That is my 100% recommendation.
Excellent. Well, I will be taking you up on that recommendation. Thank you so much, Ariana. It has been such a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, thank you all for listening. This is Laura with Laura Wamwell Photography, here with Ariana Brittenden of Do's for Doggies. And we both hope that you and your pets have an awesome day. Bye.
Bye.